Hello, friends. Welcome to the VTuber Voices podcast. On this podcast, we like to talk about what it's like to be virtual, to be a VTuber, to be a business owner, running your own stream, running your own YouTube channel. What is it like to create content? What are the struggles? What are the pluses, pros, and cons? And in this episode, we'll be continuing our interview with the lovely Spatsula. And we will be hearing about advice that she would give her past self as an artist, so I know that could be useful to a lot of us. Why you shouldn't underestimate yourself, and something that was a really great conversation during this podcast is how to price your VTuber models. If you're thinking of selling live 2D models or thinking of selling a 3D model, how does that look like as far as pricing goes? All right, let's hear what Spats has to say. Absolutely. And we have another question from Star. Star says, what is the best piece of advice you'd give someone aspiring to be an artist? And if you could talk to your past self, what advice would you give yourself?
Don't be so critical, or do not, I think I would tell myself, don't be focused on popularity.
Yes.
Don't be, because like, and even in the streaming sense, or like, you know, that we're perceived as entertainers, we're putting ourselves out there. It helps us to be popular, but don't focus on that. Focus on, like, because I know plenty of people that are very talented individuals that make money doing what they love, and they have no social media presence whatsoever. I think social media is bad. For the most part, it's been, you know, as time has gone on, we've seen it can change people's perceptions on other people, or, you know, so don't focus on getting big. Focus on doing what you love and what you like to do. And yeah, comparing yourself to others is another thing. Don't compare yourself as hard, like, because you're always gonna start from one bottom. You know, you're not immediately gonna be amazing at what you do. It's gonna take effort and time and practice. I don't believe in like the 10,000 hours thing, where it's like just practice, because sometimes, you know, you can practice all you want and you still won't get it, but you'll be able to find something you're good at. There's someone, you're always going to be able to practice enough and you'll be good at something. It might not be what you want at first, but you'll learn, you know, the hard way what you like to do. So,
and I think creativity really can sneak up on you in like unexpected ways, where you end up being good at something that you're like, whoa, like, where did this come from? Yeah.
I didn't think I would be good at rigging VTuber models. Like, cause like my model, I was gonna draw the art and separate it, because I'm like, I know how that kind of works. That's pretty straightforward. And I was gonna get someone else to rig it, because I was like, I'll just pay someone else to rig it. Person that that I was interested in rigging it, they're like, sorry, I only do my own art style. And I was like, okay, like I could get an art style, or I could get a VTube model done by someone else. But I'm like, I'm a creative streamer. Wouldn't it be better and more beneficial to me to have my own artwork displayed on the screen of what I'm drawing, like myself? So then I was just like, all right, I'll just learn myself. And I had that. I was able to get the time that month. I was like, I set myself a goal. I was like, I'm going to learn this in a month, at least to get something out. It doesn't have to be like too extravagant. When I first made my model, it was basically what you see on the screen right now. I've tweaked some physics here and there and learned a little more about physics, but it's literally the set. Like I did pretty good on my first try, but like I've added my little screen here.
Yes.
My cool pen afterward. I'm
so pretty.
I'm gonna add other things, you know, like the things I have is like,
look at the dangle physics on that little charm. That's so good.
Yeah. It's fun, and I like showing people how to do it, because like I'm like, there's people that don't share their process, or they don't stream their process, which is allowed, which is fine. And I'm not an editor. Like, I don't make YouTube videos. I maybe in the future I might be able to hire someone to help me or whatever. But I just share, like, if someone has a question of how I did something, I'm like, yeah, here, I'll show you. There's no secrets to what I do. I have it all out there.
And I'm glad you do,
because try what you want. Do what you want. Try it. You don't have to be good right away, but if you want to try it, you just do it.
Yes, that's we preach it here. Just do it. You just gotta start.
Exactly.
And I mean, look at how many doors rigging on your own opened up for you. So many doors.
Yeah, exactly.
Heck
on
yeah.
my career for the next little bit until, you know, the VTuber craze dies down, but I don't think it's gonna die down anytime soon at all. There's people that are full-time streamers now that have VTuber like days, or they get their own little VTuber that they've been. So I think it's neat. I just think it's neat.
Absolutely. Do you think you ever, or maybe this is a plan you have in the future? Have you ever thought about starting your own studio?
Nope.
Really? Too much work?
No. Yeah.
Yeah.
Way too much work. When you become if you wanted to make your own studio, then you wouldn't be creating. You know,
Yeah.
you wouldn't be the one doing the creation. You'd be the one delegating or like coming up maybe with the ideas and stuff. And maybe you'll have your hand in a little bit, but there's so many pies with owning a studio. That's even why I feel like I wouldn't be like a supervisor or someone overseeing like a supervisor of that kind of thing, because you get paid more money obviously, but I don't like having to figure out what to do. I like be in that industry. I like someone gives me something I have to do and I'll do it, and I might add my own flair to it or have a little idea here and there, but no. I think that's why I like to stream my creation, because like I can teach what I know, but there's no like revisions that I have to, like revisions is the things. Like I don't know what I would tell people. I can't really like critique in that way of like, because I'm still learning too.
Absolutely. Okay, so we do have lots of artists in the community. Some people who are hiring VTuber or riggers and VTuber artists, and some people who are artists who are starting to learn, like you had learned, like I had learned. So what is your advice for pricing 2D models and rigging? Because I know you have like all your stuff set up on commission. I think it's great. We'd love to hear your expertise there.
So don't go minimum wage. Not. I mean, it depends what country you're into. Like if you're in a different country, you know, look at your, you know, you want to feed yourself. You don't want to be working for $7 an hour making this stuff, because this is very, very,
it's strenuous work.
Very, yeah, it's work, but it's also very like it's not work everyone can do. Like price yourself accordingly. The way I did it is the first several models I've done my own. My friend 𝐒𝐿𝐼𝐻𝐿, I, you know, was testing my abilities, so to speak. I wanted to see how long it would take me, and I've taken commissions from friends or people that have commissioned me in the past first, to kind of gauge how long a model will take me, and I have kind of an average. However, every model is different. I will say that straight up. This model that I'm currently working on, very simple, but because it is in a style that it's not my style, I'm having a little more trouble with it. Just the motivation to work on it, I would say.
Yeah.
It's still a good model. It's still a cute angry teddy bear, but like price yourself like if you can. Lyra, for example, she does per hour. Okay, she'll give an estimate of how long, because she's worked on so many. She has an idea of how long it will take you, but she's still per hour. So when you commission her, you're going to be paying her 25 or 20 something an hour. I've gauged that around the same. Like I say, okay, the art probably takes me this long, and I've just done not a flat rate, but an estimate. It's like going to be between this and this, you know.
Yeah.
And I'll talk it out with the customer, the client. But if you are just starting, you also and you don't know everything, you shouldn't be charging a crap ton. Yeah, you should be charging what you feel, you know, you don't want to be giving things away. Like if you see someone that has a model, because there's a couple, you know, there's people that charge $4,000 for a model.
It depends on your status too, and how
the supply and demand. As much as it's still a creative process, there's going to be people that want a specific style. Like I know I'm not getting, and this is a problem with me too. Like I do compare myself sometimes. My style isn't anime enough sometimes. There's other people that are super anime.
Yeah.
But I also have something that's unique, I feel, to the
You do. You absolutely do.
So it all depends, you know. And if you feel like, you know, there's always going to be a need for riggers. There's plenty of artists out there. but riggers is what is needed. So if you want to try and get into, I would say VTubing, the VTubing industry, or like as a freelance thing, focus on rigging, because more people need rigging than they need artwork. I have rigging open on the side because I would rather make the whole model and not rig, but I have a couple people that were like, I would like you to rig this, but I have the specific style I wanted, but your rigging is really good, so I would like you to rig it. I'm like, okay, but I'm charging more than I would be for art. Like, you're getting a discount if you get art and rigging from me, but if I have to rig someone else's artwork, I have to make sure they've separated it properly.
Right.
If they haven't, then I have to do it. So I'm charging more for rigging on that side than just rigging my own art. Calculate your time gonna be spent, but don't, I would say even leave it open-ended. Be like, it's gonna be between this and this, right? If you're not 100% sure yet, and that's how you can agree to that.
Probably one of the best answers I've ever heard as far as like pricing your art, so thank you.
No problem. And that's not just with rigging either too. That's with like if you're just doing a pin-up or like a illustration or whatever. Gauge the time you think you're gonna spend on it, and then that way you can figure out how much you want to charge per hour.
And what's your charging process? Do you charge before or after?
It depends on the person. So if it's someone I don't know, I will do 50% up front and then 50% on completion. If it's a friend, I'm just like, you can pay me after it's done. You know, I trust you enough to pay me, and I haven't had no issues with people paying me.
Yeah. Repeating clients too, you could trust them usually.
But I also don't, for me, and I feel like more artists should do this that are doing freelance, because I've seen plenty of artists fall in this hole. Take payment up front before they start. They'll take too many things on, and then they're struggling to keep up with all these people that have paid them. That's why I don't take, and I think I'm lucky in that sense that I know how to kind of organize my time by working at a studio. I can kind of gauge how much I should be working, and how much I could get done in a month or a week or so. And I've been, we've all been slacky. Come on, we're in a pandemic, and mental health, you know, all that kind of stuff. But I don't take payment. But until I start your model, like the day I start is like when I take that 50% if you're brand new. Because, and that's why I have that, and then that way I can cancel commissions without having that guilt of I took your money and I have to refund you, and I have to figure out where to get that money if I've already spent it on groceries or something. I don't do that. More artists should do that, where they don't take payment. Maybe they take a small portion, like $100, you save the line, that you're in the line. But too many new artists, and even like freelance artists in general, just will take the money up front, and then people will be waiting 6 months for the commission because life gets in the way and stuff like that. So
absolutely. Thank you so much, Spats, for such valuable advice, especially on pricing your work and commissioning things like 2D or 3D models. Very valuable, because it can be really hard to place prices on stuff like that. But Spats had really great advice to give. Thank you so much for joining us on this episode of the VTuber Voices podcast. And the next one will be our last episode with Spats until we have a new guest. Have a great day.